Welcome back to another week of Ash's Fantasy Facts here on ArizonaSports.com. It's week number 2. Hopefully week 1 was good. Look, we had some hits and we had a couple misses last week, but hopefully it was enough to get you that first victory of the season. Let's make it 2-0 in your fantasy football league, and let's get right to it. We'll start, as always, at the quarterback position. A couple quarterbacks I really like going into week number 2. One is Big Ben Roethlisberger. Look, the Steelers are embarrassed. They were terrible in week 1 against Baltimore. I look for a resurgence as they've got the Seattle Seahawks coming to town. Look for Big Ben to put up big numbers in week 2. And my second quarterback was actually in last week's must start. It's Matt Schaub of the Houston Texans. Not necessarily because of Matt Schaub, but more because of his opponent. His opponent this week, the Miami Dolphins. And until the Dolphins prove to me that they're not going to give up 500 yards passing, I'm playing any quarterback against them. Now let's move on to the tread lightlies. A couple guys I'd say be careful with. And these two guys actually faced off against one another in week 1. We start with Cam Newton. Yeah, the rookie looked good against the Arizona Cardinals, didn't he? Well, that could be a couple of things. One, the Cardinals' defense wasn't that good. And another thing I look at with Cam Newton this week against Green Bay, it'll be a little different. So, solid pickup on the waiver wire, grabbing Cam Newton, but leave him on your bench for now. And the other tread lightly at quarterback is Kevin Kolb of the Arizona Cardinals. Kolb was great in week 1. Cardinals got a victory. However, in week 2, they go on the road to take on Washington. Washington looked pretty good in the week 1 win over the Giants. So I'm going to just tread lightly with Kevin Kolb, see what he does on the road before I make him my every week starter in my fantasy football league. But let's move on to the running back position. A couple running backs I like a lot this week. One is Ahmad Bradshaw of the Giants. Look, the Giants were embarrassed in week 1, losing to Washington. They're at home Monday night against St. Louis. St. Louis is a banged-up bunch. I look for Ahmad Bradshaw to put up big numbers. And my other must-start at running back is Jahvid Best of the Detroit Lions. Look, the Lions are going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. Just trust me on this one. And Jahvid Best could be big this week against Kansas City, considering Kansas City gave up a ton, 41 to Buffalo. Look for Jahvid Best to have a big week. Let's move on to the tread lightlies. I got 3 of them for you at running back this week. One of the tread lightlies I'm going to go with at running back is DeAngelo Williams from Carolina. The Arizona Cardinals stopped him. Why won't the Packers? Another tread lightly is Maurice Jones-Drew. To be honest, I just don't like the matchup against the Jets he has this week. And my third tread lightly, the Cadillac Williams. He's going to get the start. Steven Jackson is out in St. Louis. However, against a Giants team that's looking for a little revenge, I just don't like the start right away. Again, a solid pickup on the waiver wire, especially if you had Steven Jackson on your team. But in week 2, I'm leaving the Cadillac in the garage. Let's move on to the wide receiver position, and a couple guys I really like. One, a former Gator, Jordy Nelson of the Green Bay Packers. This is kind of the Wes Welker type of the Packers offense. He's been good. Aaron Rodgers, he likes to fling it all over the field and hit all of his receivers, but Jordy Nelson has proved to me he's good enough to be in your starting lineup. And another wide receiver I really like this week is Santana Moss of the Washington Redskins. Look, if Steve Smith found the fountain of youth in the Cardinals secondary, so will Santana Moss. He could put up some big numbers. And only one tread lightly at wide receiver, and it happens to be that guy I just talked about, Steve Smith of the Carolina Panthers. Look, he had a rookie going against him last week. This week, Charles Woodson of the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to tread lightly. We all thought Steve Smith was done, and maybe he's not, but I'm not going to play him this week. Let's move on to the sleeper of the week, and I always love this part of the show. The sleeper of the week this week, easy for me to say, is Rex Grossman, quarterback for the Washington Redskins. Look, Rex was solid in their week 1 win over the Giants, and if Cam Newton can throw for over 400, what will Rex do? I'm going to throw Rex in my starting lineup if I'm looking for a solid starter at quarterback. That's my sleeper of the week. And now we move on to the dud of the week, the guy that is just not going to get it done for your fantasy football roster, so leave him off of it. This week's participant, Marshawn Lynch of the Seattle Seahawks. Look, they weren't good in week 1, and now they go on the road to take on Pittsburgh, a Steelers team that got torched for over 100 yards by Ray Rice. It won't happen again, especially for Marshawn Lynch. He is your dud of the week. That's it. That's how we do it. That's Ash's Fantasy Facts for week number 2. Don't forget, during the week, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, ash@arizonasports.com. Or you can follow me and ask me questions on Facebook, Mark Asher, or on Twitter at Ash620. Make sure you get your lineups in on time, and good luck in week 2.